Hello YouTube. I was watching Hoople's cat the other day. He was talking about complacency in water and how water can be a difficult thing for some people. Now, any of you who have watched my videos before, you understand I'm rural, I'm a farmer. I'm on a well here, but I thought I'd show you this system. I did do this system before once, but Hoople's actually stated to me that he couldn't find the video, so I thought I'd do it again. So what I have here is I have a deep well pump system. Now keep in mind, you can change this system around if you were even on city water to make it so you have constant water cycling through with a backup. I will show all that. But I have a 175 foot deep well way out there. It's about 150 feet that way. Actually further than that. But anyways, so what I have is a deep well pump, jet pump here. 2 lines. So that goes in, and follow the lines, into this tank here. There's a standard pressure tank. It's an older style, but I've set this system up for several contingencies. I have had several problems before, and we've been working through them. So what can happen with this tank is this is where the water comes out. As you can see, it can go up this direction, it can also go in this direction. So this is shut off because this makes it so I can just run my house on just this pump. But what is normally occurring is this is a check valve, a one-way check valve. It goes up this line and it comes up to this spot. The reason for the labels is so my wife can, I have a sheet so she knows what taps to turn off under what situation. But, so it's stopped there. And this is a, see how it's very minimally open? That runs on a line. I'll show you what that tank is in a minute. And it comes over to a float valve right here. This is a 175 gallon water tank. So that would be enough for a lot of people. Myself, that's the outlet for it. It also follows and comes to another 175 gallon water tank, which is also connected to another 175 gallon water tank. And in case of power loss completely, I do have a line right here. So I can isolate each one of these tanks, guys. So I can drain one out if I need to. But in case of power loss, I can lay that valve down, open it up, and I can fill up buckets or whatever I need. But normally the way the system runs is it'd be running into that first pressurized tank, into this tank. Then it comes into a second pump. This system isn't complete yet. Everything's going to get mounted up on the walls with switches, but time and money as they go, guys. And this one powers a standard pressure tank and a bladder pressure tank. The only way you can twin up tanks like that is to have one and one. It's much more difficult to twin 2 of these air pocket tanks as opposed to bladdered tanks. But the bladdered tank, shoot, there goes my cup. The bladdered tank runs out and it fills my whole entire system, which leads out to the barn. I actually have a valve here. The reason I have that valve there is I can backfeed my barn with hot water from my hot water tank due to frost issues I've had before. But I can isolate the barn, shut it off. I can just isolate, I can backfill the well in case anyone who has a well, sometimes you got to prime it, so I can actually backfeed my well and prime it from my other tanks by turning valves. But anyways, the water comes up, runs up this line, and this is what feeds my house. So it goes in here, goes out to a little hose bib I have on the outside wall there. There's a large cotton filter, and it runs through and feeds the rest of my house. Now I also have, these filters are great, guys. It's the Big Blue, or Rain Fresh, sorry. Big Blue is that style filter, I guess, but that's a carbon filter. That's for taste and everything, and that's at my kitchen sink where we get most of our drinking water. I can actually change the system around to do more filters and stuff, but that suits us for now. Also, at the top of the first fill tank, I have a large 2-inch line. It's got a cap on it right there. So I can actually back a tanker up, and I can gravity feed my tanks from a tanker if my well has a problem again. Now, what I was saying was, if you had a city system, you could build a system like this. What you would need to do is you would need to get a tank and a float tank, and you'd have to hook that into your city system. You'd have to get a strong enough float, but what you can end up doing is putting that on. You just need a shallow pump set up coming out of that tank, cycling into a pressure tank, and then pipe that directly into your house. So you kind of just make a U before you go into your house, and what that'll give you is, for instance, 175 gallons of constantly recycling water built up, always feeding your house. Now, you would be running a pump as opposed to just running city water, but the one thing it will give you is you'll have that pressure tank. So, for instance, if the power goes out, you could, with proper application of valves, open up to just your city water, run your city water straight into your taps and into your tub, the water bobs that you can fill into a bathtub, stuff like that, and then you can still leave pressure in this tank. Even without power, you'll have pressure for quite some time, depending on the size of your pressure tank. And that'll buy you a lot of time. Also, if you twin it up with a tank like that, and say you had an already charged air compressor, you could hook it up to that tank and pump pressure in, and you would have more time and more pressure running. So it's just ideas, guys. Anyone who has any questions, feel free to ask. I've been playing with the system for a few years. I still got to do a few more modifications. In fact, we are hooking up another shallow well pump with another tank and another holding tank in the other side of my house, and all it's going to run is 2 of my garden hose fittings, hose bibs, because well, it takes like 5 hours to water my garden some days, and I'm sick of that. So if I have a dedicated pump running with another dedicated pump, it'll speed up the process. It's not something anyone needs to do. It's just something we're doing. We're also going to be putting a water system out in my shop. So, you know, hopefully we can get some more projects done this year, but we're running out of time. But thanks for watching, guys. And like I say, if you have any questions about the water system, feel free to ask. I know how to do a lot of these different water systems. I've worked with my friend for years with wells and everything else. I hate pulling 3-inch wells. Don't ever put a 3-inch well in. I'll tell you that right now. But if you have any questions, suggestions, let me know. Have fun, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.